Well, some Muslim leaders in Texas are launching a televised image campaign. They say the idea is to give people a better understanding of those who are followers of Islam here in Texas and elsewhere. Dan Godwin takes a look in this week's Fox Forward.
At the DFW chapter of the Council on American Islamic Relations, there's a brand new executive director. It is nice to say hello to Alia Salem. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
One thing the Houston office of CAIR has done, and they may end up appearing here in North Texas, a series of public service announcements. Now, these spots show Muslims from various walks of life talking about their lives, their jobs, and their very mainstream existence. Here's a sample.
One of the highlights of my career so far has been to take part in training astronauts and flight controllers for the International Space Station.
So what is the goal of these public service announcements?
Well, we've seen a rise in rhetoric that indicate that many Americans don't see Muslims as everyday Americans like themselves. So the goal is really to show them in their natural state doing normal things that contribute positively to society. And that, in a way, humanizes them and shows people they're a regular person just like you.
And so what drives me is just the need, the pressing need to give back.
So as executive director of the DFW chapter of CAIR, how much of your energy, what % of your job involves working to change the perception of Muslims?
A very large percentage. We focus on civil rights, but also on helping people to understand about Islam and Muslims. There are often inaccurate portrayals of Islam and Muslims, whether it's through the media or from so-called experts.
Sometimes you hear people say, well, there needs to be a stronger denunciation of extremism by those in the moderate Muslim community. What do you think of it?
For me, that's actually very frustrating because of the work that I do and that I've been doing for the past 10 years. I can't even count on my fingers and my toes and the hairs on my head all of the examples of Muslims denouncing extremism or responding to it, you know, claiming that that is not something that's part of our faith and so on and so forth. Even one of our chapters in Florida has a website that is devoted, has a page that's devoted to showing examples of Muslims denouncing extreme. There's so many examples. The problem is the communication avenues and whether people are listening or not.
And let me just throw a word at you and get your thoughts. Tolerance.
Tolerance is something, I have a mixed feeling towards tolerance because I don't want us to just tolerate each other. I want us to really try to understand each other and respect each other.
Alia Salem, thank you so much for the chat.
Thank you for having me.
For more information on the DFW chapter of the Council on American Islamic Relations, we have a link on our website. Just go to myfoxdfw.com, click on links.